All right, welcome everyone. Hello, good to see everyone joining in here. Fantastic. Love this. We have so many amazing things planned for our workshops today, so welcome. Just as you join us, please pop into the chat where you are in the world and what you do creatively. Where you are in the world and what you do creatively. Just as we have everyone joining in, you will notice you are on mute today, but we would love you to have your video on if possible. It's so lovely to be able to see you, interact with you as well. We are going to have a busy chat today, so keep an eye on it, but pop into the chat where you are in the world and what you do creatively. This is going to be a great opportunity to see who's here, see who's joining in today. I love this. This is awesome just seeing everyone sharing in the chat. Amazing. Minnesota, Portland, Detroit. I love that. So good. Murals, sign painting, community portrait events. I love that. Hey, Autumn. Cleveland, Ohio. Nice hand lettering artists. There we go. Large scale paintings. Chicago, Painting and Decorative Wall Company. Austin, Texas, Minnesota. This is amazing. I love seeing where everyone is. Try and go through and see if you can see someone in the chat who is in the same place as you or doing the same thing as you. Super excited to have everyone here for our Pricing for Muralists amazing workshop. We have great things planned. So as we get underway, we're going to do some introductions so you can get to see who everyone here is, and then we'll be diving into the workshop. So we are here for the Pricing for Muralists workshop, so you are at the right place. We're going to hand over to Christine to do a short introduction first, and we'll go from there. Over to you, Christine.
Hi, I'm Christine Parker. I'm an illustrator and designer and muralist from Cleveland, Ohio, in the US. I saw somebody from Cleveland, I think Ariel. Hi, I'm so excited that you're here. I specialize in bright, playful illustrations for packaging and products, and I recently started doing murals. And I love working with fun businesses and brands from across a variety of industries, which keeps my ADHD brain happy. When I started coaching with Logan, I did tell him that I was not interested in murals. That is not a service I would ever probably be providing. But he helped me pivot from what I was doing, which was low cost, like stickers and t-shirts and things, into higher value service offerings. So, and I recently got my first big mural client. So I'm excited to help you learn about mural pricing and make a sustainable income.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christine. So great to have you here. And we're going to have Christine and Becca both sharing some reflections on the different points I'll be teaching today as well. It's going to be so good to have their input because they're deep in the journey as well. So, Becca, over to you for an introduction.
Yeah, hi. It's good to see everyone. My name is Becca. I'm located in Austin, Texas. It seems like a lot of people maybe are from there in the chat. I'm a muralist and fine artist. I have a degree in painting, and I used to primarily focus on my studio practice, but I always wanted to get into murals. So in the pandemic, I was kind of looking around, wondering what I should be doing, and I realized that I have some walls to paint, like the one behind me. And so my first mural was for an at-home mural festival on Instagram during that time. And then I started painting murals for friends and family, and then friends of friends. And now I primarily focus on murals for residences and businesses. I've run my own creative business for many years now, but I got really serious about it when I started working with Logan and the Flammable team in the summer of 2024. And I just finished up this fall, so it's really good to be back here with you all. So that's a little bit about me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Becca. It's so lovely to be here. I'm going to do an introduction too, and then we'll get the team to introduce themselves as well. So I'm Logan Elliott. If you are wondering where my funny accent is from, is that I am originally from New Zealand. So if you were guessing, I am based in the US now. I live in Richmond, Virginia. So yes, my accent is very different from people around me in Richmond, Virginia as well. People often say that accent is not from Richmond, Virginia. And I'm like, it is true. It's not from Australia either or the UK. Many people get the wrong guesses, but I am from New Zealand originally. Now, my background is that I had my own creative business for 11 years, and I have a master's in entrepreneurship. I've always been really passionate about the intersection of creativity and business, and this is something that I've been coaching in for a very, very long time now as well. I did a lot of teaching at universities. I did that for a whole number of years, working with creatives on the business side, right up to a master's level as well. That was next to running my own creative business, and then eventually got more and more into coaching, mentoring, teaching, and for many years now have been running Flammable Entrepreneur. We work with visual creatives who are growing their businesses. So the people we work with are very much muralists, illustrators, graphic designers, very much in that visual creative space. The people we tend to work with are actually broken up into 3 different groups. Group 1 are early stage, getting going, getting started, wanting to really get moving. We also have people that are further along and they're wanting to get more sustainability. Maybe they're already doing this full time. Maybe they've already left their day job and they want to actually make their business work. Sometimes they want to expand their offerings. Sometimes they want to get into things like murals or other areas of illustration. Absolutely love that. And we help them to really grow and reach their dream goals as well. We've helped people in lots of different ways, helping people to leave day jobs, helping people to have 10 or even 20K months and grow sustainable businesses without burning themselves out. That is a big part of what we do. It's essentially the business stuff for creatives, the stuff that people really struggle with. So that is what we're extremely passionate about. I have a team. We have Alyssa and Paul here from the team as well today. We also have Nadine and Celeste supporting in the background here today as well. And we're going to do some other introductions. So as part of today, we will be sharing an opportunity for you to connect with us and get on some one-on-one coaching calls, some freebie coaching calls. We're doing that towards the end. So we want to make sure we do some team introductions as well. So for the introductions, Alyssa, do you want to kick us off with sharing a bit more about yourself and your role on our team?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. So good to see you. My name's Alyssa Harmon, and I'm the program manager and one of the business point coaches on the team here at Flammable Entrepreneur. So I work really closely with Logan and the rest of our gang. It's wonderful to see all of you. Big group today. I am based in sunny Tampa, Florida, though I've had the pleasure of living and working all around the country in the US. So I have a big background in higher education. I have a master's in higher education as well as a doctor of education in educational leadership. So I specialize in working with adult learners. I went back to school as an adult, so I love forming relationships with people who are valuing that personal and professional development, regardless of what stage you are at. So thank you for joining us today, and I'll pass it back to Logan.
Amazing. Thank you, Alyssa. Paul, we'll get you to do an introduction as well.
Yeah, thanks, Logan. Hey, everybody. Great to be here today. I am Paul Corrigan. I'm based up here in snowy Maine, not sunny Maine. Well, it is kind of sunny, I guess, but it's more snowy. And I run some businesses up here of my own. I like my Christmas tree business, which is in full swing right now. But on the team, I am a creative business specialist, and I help think through kind of the approach that we take and help you guys figure out what to do with your businesses. And I love helping people pursue their dreams because it's really a passion of mine to help people figure out how to do this. I also run the social medias for Flammable and help out with that kind of content around that. So great to be here today and really excited to hear what we have going on.
Amazing. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone. So great to get everyone connected. If you have just joined us, please pop in the chat where you are in the world and what you do creatively. You are here at the right place. This is the Pricing for Muralists workshop. Today is also going to be about taking action. So please, make sure that you're taking notes, make sure that you're interacting here, get involved in the chat. We love a busy chat. Have your video on if possible as well. We love being able to interact with you. Now, a big part of our coaching programs and the way that we work with people is to help them to actually get focused and take action. So make sure you're sitting up, you're here for this because we've got a lot we're going to cover. We're going to also move quite fast today as well. Congratulations for showing up. This is part of growing a creative business. Whether you're wanting to start or you've been doing this for years, part of growth is also about learning. So well done for being here. We really notice the difference between successful visual creatives and the unsuccessful ones is that the successful ones show up. They take action. right? We need to get beyond just the ideas, the concepts, the theories, and get into the actual implementation side. So we're going to be sharing a lot of stuff that is very implementation based, things that you can take action on today as well. We are also going to have a bit of fun with a $100 cash giveaway to the most interactive person today, right? This is just a fun way to keep things really interactive. So make sure you get active in the chat. Key things are that you will need to have your video on for that, and you will need to be interacting in the chat. And we will pick the person who we think is the most interactive. It's not a perfect art because we have a very busy chat, as you can see already. But Nadine and Celeste from the team will be doing that piece there, selecting the person in the background. So let's have some fun with that. It's just a great way to get more involved and to interact a bit more as well. Cool. Pricing for muralists. Pricing is such a powerful topic, and this is something that many people struggle with, how to get pricing right. So yes, this workshop is for people who are muralists already, or maybe you're wanting to get into murals. Fantastic. There's a lot of other relevant things here for other visual creatives as well. So if you're an illustrator, you're a graphic designer, fantastic. This will be good for you as well. At Flammable, we get to have this really unique position where we get to work with so many different clients, and we get to see what works and what doesn't work, right? So this is really important, is that ultimately we see on a day-to-day basis what is actually happening in these different industries. We also see what people do wrong. And one of the things that people sometimes get wrong is the pricing stuff. Right? If you've got the wrong pricing strategy, then you're really going to struggle to make this work, to make the business work long term. You'll either have no clients, or you'll be working all the time, 80 hours a week, every day, every night, weekends, to try and make this business work. And yes, you might be earning 10 or 20K per month. That's amazing, but you no longer see your family. You're completely exhausted. You're completely burnt out. And eventually you'll probably burn yourself out and give up, or maybe injure yourself, or have something happen that will make you go, I don't want to do this anymore. And that is not success. Success is a sustainable long-term business that you love without burning yourself out. So important. We see this where we talk to people. Alyssa and Paul also have these conversations with people we're talking with who are maybe even considering working with us, who are like, hey, I think I'm quite good at what I do, but maybe I'm not. Maybe the creative side is the problem in the way. And what we see again and again is it's not the craft, right? It's not the designs. It's not the illustrations. It's not the mural work. It's not the painting. It's actually the business stuff. And a big part of that is marketing. And another big part is pricing, right? Having that wrong pricing strategy can actually mean that you just burn yourself out. So we're going to be digging into this. This is going to help you get more clarity around what to charge moving forward in the short term as well as the long term, no matter what stage you are in. Along the way, we're going to get Becca and Christine to share some of their insights as well. I love having them here today because they're deep in this journey, right? I'm sure there'll be many people here that really relate to Christine and Becca's stories in terms of the stage you're at, what you're doing, what you're trying to do as well. And they're going to be reflecting on some of the pieces along the way. So the first thing I'm going to dive into is about value and what your work is actually worth. This is really, really important. Ultimately, we don't want you to compete on price. It's what many people do is they become the cheapest in town, right? They see that other people are charging less, so they think they need to lower their prices. And the truth is that's just a war. There's a pricing battle, and no one wins from that. Instead, what we want you to do is compete on value, right? Compete on value. So to compete on value, you really need to understand what someone actually values, what someone actually cares about, rather than just having a quick conversation with a client and saying, hey, here's what I charge. Actually, first ask them questions. Get to know and get to understand what do they actually care about. Dig into their actual needs. What are the things that they value? Do they value that you're really, really professional? Do they value that you're on time? Do they value that you are going to do a good job and communicate well? Well, they probably value all of those things, but some people will value things differently. So this is really important to understand, is that value is the piece that you want to focus on. If you bring great value, it also allows you to charge those higher rates as well. Communication is a huge part of that value. People often think, okay, the value is the murals, right? The work. The painting. Yeah, absolutely. That's a huge part of the value. However, there's some other less tangible pieces like communication, right? How well do you communicate with them during the sales process? Are you replying to their emails in a timely manner? Do you have a solid sales process? Right? These are the sorts of things we focus on a lot with our clients because you have to get the stuff right. Right? If you don't come across communicating well with them, well, they're going to be starting to question the value. So if you take ages to reply to emails, they're going to go, I'm not sure if I do want to work with this person, even though their work is absolutely phenomenal and I really want to work with them. This is actually a risk. So bringing that value in through great communication and great building professionalism, building great professionalism around that. Trust is also a really important part of this. Right? If people are going to be spending a lot of money with you, they need to also trust you. So you need to build up trust during the process. Obviously, that's about being polite, kind, authentic, but also, once again, having great communication. Can they also trust you by really seeing your background and seeing more information, checking your website, checking your about page, seeing if you're on other social media as well, seeing your testimonials, right? Having testimonials is a really powerful way to build trust, right? Social proof. That's what it really is. We like to see that other people have trusted this person as well, right? So really understanding these pieces are incredibly important as you grow your business. We want to make sure you're building a business and building offerings based on, yes, trust and professionalism and value, and obviously great artwork as well. But just remembering that there is lots of things that come into value. Becca, would love to hear some of your perspectives on these things around value as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, pricing is hard. This is a difficult topic for I think a lot of people. And I think it's good to remember, on top of everything you've already said, but murals are big investments for your clients, and they're really hard work on your part. I mean, it's the physical labor, which can get difficult and exhausting, and it can get scary as you're getting onto ladders, scaffolding, and lifts. And if you're painting like outside, you're doing exterior. Like I live in Texas, where the majority of the year it's not super pleasant to be outside. And I got the worst sunburn of my life in March painting outside. So, you have to think about the elements too. Not to mention just the artwork and the custom nature of the work you're providing. So, murals need to be priced high, and there's all these reasons for this. And I would say if you don't have a good idea of what your work is worth, don't be afraid to reach out to other artists and other muralists in your area or on Instagram to see what they're charging. I think our community only grows stronger when we're more clear and transparent about these things, so that we all can benefit. I last saw that the national average for murals is 25 to 50, and I typically charge in the middle there about 40. So transparency on my part. But I think asking for help or checking in with others is a great tool in your tool coaching program, is that it's about confidence, which is easier said than done, of course, but you need to be confident in your skills and to know your worth. And if you don't have the confidence, you need to tap into someone else's or something else, or fake it till you make it is what I keep telling myself. Other people can give you validation, but you have to know what your worth is. Work is worth.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Becca. So appreciate that. And part of this here is, yes, hearing the real perspectives on this stuff as well. We are also going to share our Instagram to get connected with more of you as well. So Becca and Christine are going to share our Flammable Instagram, and Celeste from my team is going to share our Flammable Instagram as well. So we'll make sure those are connected in. Make sure you click those links. We would love to get connected with you if we're not already. Then we're going to get everyone else here to share their links too. So if you can go and get your own Instagram link, go get your URL and drop it in the chat. Building a business is also about building community as well, right? Really, really important. So everyone here, go and find your Instagram. Make sure you grab your URL, like open up a web browser and drop it in here, not the @ tag, and then go through and see who else is here as well. Right, you can actually click the links. I know there's a lot of people here today. It's fantastic. So do make sure you click a bunch of links there, get connected with a bunch of people here as well. I love it. Okay, fantastic. We're going to keep moving along. I know my internet is being a little jumpy today. That can sometimes happen, but it looks like my audio is holding well, which is fantastic. We're going to talk about next in terms of figuring out what to actually charge, right? Figuring out what to actually charge. This is so, so important. Most people undercharge, right? Most people undercharge, particularly in these creative spaces here. It's really, really common, especially early on. If you're starting out, if you're early stage, maybe this is a new area of offerings. Like we see this a lot, especially in murals. People really charge low rates, right? And they don't actually need to. This is really, really important. What we need to do is we need to charge rates based on what people will actually pay, not based on your time. So this is a bit of a pitfall a lot of people struggle with, is that they actually struggle to charge the right rates because they're thinking about what they're putting in, right? Their time, their energy, the materials. Now, these things are important. I'm not saying they don't matter. They do matter, but ultimately you charge based on what someone is willing to actually pay. Really important. And this is a lesson we say again and again: charge based on exactly what people are willing to pay rather than for your time. If you're charging, and this is across the board for visual creatives, including murals, if you're charging based on per hour time, well, the problem is you're actually selling your time, and the clients overall will probably get confused, right? If you say to me, oh yeah, I charge X amount to do murals, well, I don't really know what that means for a mural that I would love to have done in my home or my business, right? So understanding and getting clear, people actually want more of a project-based price and overall quote. So yes, you've got to do the numbers. Like I said, you've got to look at the costs. Like, do you need to think about travel? Do you need to be hiring some equipment? What is the cost going to be of the paint? And how much time is it probably going to take you? What's the minimum? What's the maximum? Yes, in the mural space specifically, there's a big range of what people charge. People are generally charging per square foot. So $20 to $100 per square foot is a range. I know that's quite a big range as well. We tend to see people that are earlier stage tend to charge closer to the $20 or $30 per square foot, and more advanced people start getting above the $60 rate. But keep in mind, it's also about the complexity, right? So complexity is an important part of this as well, and really understanding that will affect the rate that you're charging too. But just know that many people charge rates that are far too low, and there's opportunities to increase those rates in sustainable ways. This is really, really important. Now, what I also recommend here is that you have a minimum. So for murals, it's really up to you what you have as your minimum. Some people have a minimum in murals of $500. Some people have a minimum of $5,000. Right? But coming up with a clear minimum of going, hey, you know what? Like, it's not worth the actually doing all the work, all the communication, the proposals, and then actually doing the work if it's under X amount. And you need to decide what that is for you. As you get more advanced, those of you that are here that are already more advanced, you can actually increase those minimums quite a bit as well. Obviously, it's up to you. And that's one of the beautiful things about having your own business, is that it is all up to you. But we also want to have some good practices in place. This is so important. There is a bit of guesswork, right? There is no perfect pricing strategy here. Like, yes, there's lots of different strategies you can use, and even square foot is a strategy. There's no perfect strategy. There's no perfect equation. Part of it is getting out there, doing it, trying, testing out prices, and increasing them over time as well, right? So you want to be charging good high rates. You are going to have people that also say no to working with you due to price, and that's actually okay. Yes, we want to get the yeses as well. So another powerful piece of this. Christine, would love to hear some of your thoughts around this in terms of, figuring out what to charge and how to really price things.
Yeah, this has really been fresh in my brain because like I was saying, I just recently booked a really big mural project. So I started with that like $25 to $50 per square foot, but then you also want to think about, there's like a whole laundry list of things that you want to think about. You want to think about how many coats of paint your colors are going to need, because some colors are, more saturated than others and need more coats of paint. If you've got a bumpy wall with like a brick or stucco. That's going to suck up more paint. You need all your paint, your brushes and rollers and painter's tape and your chalk to, like trace it on the wall. You need your, like, whatever your method is for getting your little design big. Don't use the grid method. Like, we all know how to do that, but it takes forever and time is money. Get a projector. I've seen people are using like the VR headsets now. There's like an app that'll, you wear your little goggles or whatever, and it'll project it on the wall and you can trace it. Oh my God, that's so cool. So you also need to think about transportation to get yourself to the mural site, and gas, and you have to track your mileage. And do you need to rent equipment like a ladder or a what are they called? A boom lift? Like, if it's really high up on a huge building, you need liability insurance. That is, I don't know, that's really scary to me. Liability insurance, like if you break something, but I mean, that's an expense that you need to, consider. And so, like, the mural that I just booked, it's a big 25-foot mural, and it requires travel. So I had to add that in too. So like, I'm thinking, like, what is my flight going to cost? I've got to figure out how much a hotel, for like 2 weeks or whatever. I need a rental car. I need gas. You have to think about a food budget. One of the things that came up too was what time of year is it? Because where I'm going is, it's in January in Florida. And so there's it's busy tourist season. So everything is more expensive than it would be if I was going down there in the off season. I have to board my dog, or you might need childcare, and you need to factor in your time off too, because, you better not be working through the weekends. And the client should be paying for all of this, right? So, I mean, you can see how quickly it adds up. So I think that, like, when you're doing your proposal, it's important to note that stuff. I mean, you don't have to give like an itemized invoice, and in fact, I wouldn't do that because that's not their business. But I would say, like, this proposal includes all travel expenses, all, communication with me, all, professional installation. And, you can give them like a list of all the value that you're giving to them. And that's how you can justify having those premium prices.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christine. So, so powerful. Absolutely. And once again, hearing the real stuff that people are actually thinking about as well. We're going to talking about money next, right? So talking to clients about the price. And a big part of talking about price is getting confident, right? Getting confident about what you are actually doing. It's a huge part of it. Now, most people have pretty weird beliefs around money and how money works, right? They forget that ultimately money is just a form of trade, right? Like, that's what money really is. So sometimes we have these ideas that we're taking something from someone if we're charging them money. It's like, no, we're just really trading a form of value. And the form of value happens to be money, right? For one of the people. So understanding that actually you are charging for value and you're effectively trading your services for money. You could actually trade your services for services, but it's a little hard to find the things that people want from each other and match that up. So instead, we have money to be a good communication approach as well. Now, connected to building up your confidence is really building up your confidence around what you do and doing it well. Right. So we work with our clients on many of these things around building confidence. One of them is helping them to actually celebrate wins and celebrate the good things that are happening in their business, including the small stuff, including the big things. Absolutely. This is so, so important. You're probably actually worth more than you believe. You just need to find the right clients. So this will happen. I'm sure there's many people here I'm seeing in the chat as well, as like, yeah, there can be big struggles around finding the right types of clients who are actually willing to pay what you want to charge. There's plenty of people out there that would love a mural. Absolutely. Like, I think most people would love a mural in their own home, but are they willing and able to afford that? Are they willing and able to pay for that? Maybe, maybe not, right? So understanding part of finding value is also finding the right clients, right? So if you want to charge those higher rates, it's also about finding the people who are willing to pay them as well. There is so many opportunities out there to charge really good amounts for murals. You just need to get in front of the right people. And that's part of what abundance mindset says. If you believe those opportunities are out there, well, they are. You just need to get in front of them. If we believe that everyone is fighting and there's not many opportunities out there and we're all arguing over pricing and we're all battling for the lowest prices, well, that's kind of what you will see, right? Because the belief that you see means you'll attract those sorts of opportunities and you'll end up in those spaces. Instead, we need to get confidence around the price. We need to increase those rates. Even when it feels high, it's amazing what you can actually charge. Once again, when you talk to clients, bring across the professionalism, right? Like if you have a professional proposal, you're more likely to A, be able to charge more, but also you're going to get more people saying yes, right? Rather than a casual conversation or some text or even an email with some numbers on it. Well, actually, can you have more of a professional proposal, right? That's going to bring a lot of that value and they're more likely to spend those higher rates as well, right? So working on that, look, you can actually sell based off brief conversations or texts or things like that, email. If you're getting started, that might be where you're starting and that's okay. But over time, we want to make sure you have better and better stunning professional proposals as well. Now, an extra tip here, with murals, you can ask for people's budget. Actually, it's the same across many visual creative businesses. When you're talking to someone, you can say, hey, what is your budget? Now, yeah, they may not tell you. They may say, well, I'm just curious to see what you'll say. Or they may say, oh, my budget is $2,000 and you're thinking it's going to cost a lot more than that to do this. Just because they've said their budget is X doesn't mean that they won't pay a lot more. It's amazing how often people free up budget, right? Oh, actually, I found some more budget, right? So this is also possible as well, but it can be a good trick to sometimes ask because then you can actually start to understand like what are they kind of thinking about here? Also, we love you to offer different options to them. This is a great way to really fit into people's different price brackets, is not just give them one option, but give them several, give them maybe 2 or even 3 options, right? Here's kind of what they've asked for. Here's something else that would be even better. And then here's like the most amazing version possible that you can imagine doing for them. And it's quite a high price. Really, really powerful. Becca, I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences around this one here about talking about price and money.
Yeah, I mean, talking about money, I mean, in general is difficult no matter who you're talking to, but I have noticed that it gets easier over time, and I can tell with each conversation that I have with potential clients that it gets easier for me. And so what I do after initial call or site visit with a client, I'll send over a detailed proposal, kind of like what we were talking about with pricing and scope. And this includes my intro and my process, because I think a lot of people don't know what it's like to work with a muralist. It might be their first time. So I include all of this to give them an idea of exactly what they're getting into. And then also the price, so that they can see the overall value in one place. Um, and I learned what you were saying to use a tiered pricing system, which I think helps. So for me, I usually do like a mid tier, which is like what I would really want to do the project for, and then a higher tier, you can add more square footage or complexity to the design or lettering or whatever you want to do. And then the lower one would be, just like less square footage, less complexity, or whatever your, tiered system is. But I think that really helps. I think it's called the Goldilocks principle, or maybe I made that up. I'm not sure. But I think people want to be able to choose and have that power in making their decision, especially when it's a higher dollar amount. So to show those tiers, I think has really helped. And so your proposal can really help portray your value, but I think you can also take any opportunity to try to explain to a potential client the investment of a mural. If it's for a business, then it's long-term marketing. It's going to be there for many years. So it's going to serve them for a long time. And if it's a personal residence, then it's artwork and an investment of its own enjoyment. And I'm still kind of figuring, I mean, this is a journey and a process. I don't mean to sound like I have all of it figured out. I really wish I could just snap my fingers and be automatically good at this, but I'm just not wired that way. So it's something I have to continually work on. And luckily, I've had Logan and his team help me with that. And I think you just get better with more experience.
Yeah, I love that. And I think something that comes across here is just it can take time and it can take energy when you focus on the stuff and when you get really serious about building your creative business long term. It really means you build your confidence long term as well, right? So I think some people kind of step into spaces like creative business and they're like, oh, some people are just really confident about what they do. And yeah, we could argue there's people in the world who maybe have more of a natural confidence around things, absolutely. But the beautiful thing is every single person here can increase their confidence, can work on these things. Part of what gets the confidence increasing is just getting out there and doing it, taking action, doing the scary stuff, right? I think there's many creative people in the world who are very talented who are holding themselves back and no one's ever going to see their amazing artwork, right? Because they're like, well, I'm not ready yet, or I need to do more of this. I need to build my portfolio more. When actually the thing that's going to get them out there and moving is to get out there and get moving, right? This is really, really powerful. So understanding that part of it is getting moving forward, stop delaying that action, actually move forward, try to work with someone, right? Create a mural yourself. Really, really important. I love this. So many good things we're covering here. I'm going to keep moving through our workshop here. We will dive into some Q&A in a while as well. We did get sent in a lot of questions beforehand, so we're going to focus on them, but we still got some more good things to cover during this workshop. We're going to talk about growing without burning out. So murals, it's a full-on space, right? If you are physically out there doing the mural as well, it's also physically draining for you as well. Right? Some of our clients do hire and get on scaffold. Some get on scissor lifts, right? It can be quite exhausting. Depending on where you are, it can be that you're outside in the heat or in the cold right now, right? So this is really important to understand. We need to therefore make sure we're building a sustainable business. Now, part of that sustainability, coming back to, is pricing, right? Charging good amounts. Then you can work with a smaller number of people. Most people actually, when they're growing their creative business, they want pretty similar things. I'm sure everyone here can relate to this, is that you want to have a business that earns good money, does amazing work that you love doing, creative expression, but you also want flexibility and freedom. You don't want to just work all the time. You want to make sure that you're having balance, you're having rest, you're having breaks, you're having holidays. So we need to make sure the pricing strategy reflects all of those things as well. One big thing here I'll mention is that you need to get really clear on your goals, right? If you're building a long-term sustainable business, well, what are you building it for? What is important to you and where are you actually going? Because your goals set the direction. It's kind of obvious, but most people don't tend to actually have clear goals. They have a vague idea, they have a general direction. We need to get really specific. Like if you're building a business and you're wanting to get into murals or you're already in murals, okay, great. Like what size murals do you want to be pursuing? How much revenue do you want to be bringing in? What does this look like? Do you want to leave your day job, right? Understanding your goals is going to be a really important part of this. I'm sure there's people here that are like, hey, I want to leave my day job. Fantastic. Let's make sure that your whole business strategy is built around leaving your day job in a sustainable way. Now, going back to talking about money, once again, is undercharging just means that you're going to be working a lot and you're more likely to burn out. Really, really important. So pricing model needs to reflect that. We want to charge those higher amounts. These higher priced offerings like murals, something that we've noticed is that they are the things that'll get you out of your day job, right? Like if you're in a day job right now and you're wanting to leave it, selling, just like Christine was talking about earlier, selling the $3 stickers, the $20 prints, like these are awesome offerings, right? I love them. I think stickers are really cool. I think prints are great, but they're not the things that are building long-term sustainable businesses. They're not the things that are helping people leave day jobs, earn 10 to 20K per month. They're not the things that are doing that, right? So really understanding and acknowledging this is that you need to have those higher ticket items. This is also why we love murals. We have a lot of clients that do murals, not every single client. There's lots of other areas of offerings we work with as well, but murals are great because you can charge really, really good amounts. If you're only charging a few $100s for things, you're going to have to work a lot and work with a lot of clients. If you're charging $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 for an opportunity for a mural, fantastic. You don't need to work with as many clients. So you've got a lot more balance, and you're much more likely to be able to leave the day job or grow the sustainable long-term business. You need to get paid well for what you do. It's really, really important. Otherwise, you'll just end up working all the time. You'll burnt out, exhausted, and you'll never get a holiday. So important. The other thing I'm going to mention here around this and around the burnout is that if you're undercharging, you're going to feel kind of annoyed and frustrated. You're going to do a low quality job for the client, so they're not going to get a great outcome, and you're going to regret all of it, and you're going to have a bad time. When you charge the amount that you want to charge and what you deserve, you feel really good, right? This is actually connected with burnout as well, right? So burnout is not always connected with exhaustion, overwhelm, and time. It's also connected with you doing the work that you're excited about. I'm sure everyone here can relate to this. When you're doing something that you love doing and you're getting paid properly for, you could probably put a lot more time into that and it won't burn you out. Whereas if you're doing something that you don't enjoy or you're not charging much for, you're just going to be there being frustrated, annoyed, and it's really going to affect your mindset, and that's going to lead to the burnout, right? So we need to make sure we're charging these good rates, because honestly, in the end, the client gets a better quality outcome. You feel really good, and you're going to be able to do this sustainably long term as well. So important. Christine, would love to hear some of your thoughts and reflections around this one.
Yeah, so like learning to price like premium rates was that was really hard for me. And I know I have work to do in this area, but like you don't just like wake up one morning like, hey, I'm gonna double or triple my rates today. Like well, I don't know, maybe some people do. I couldn't do that. I had to start with like, so when I very first started coaching last like 18 months ago, I was like charging like $100 for like, an illustration, and I had my t-shirts and my stickers and whatever. So then like my first project, I think I charged $400, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to throw up. They're going to be so mad that I'm, asking for $400. Who do I think I am? This is crazy. But they didn't. They paid it, and it was a lovely job. And then then a couple months later, I'm like, okay, I'm going to charge $1,000 for the next one, and I'm going to barf again. But like you just get that like discomfort, and you push through it and send out the scary proposal, and people surprise you. I mean, I'm shocked, like $1,000. Oh my God. And she's just like, yeah, here, I'd love to work with you for $1,000. And so you just like, you can increase a little bit at a time. And it is, for me, it's scary every time. But it does build up over time too. So in a year, you might be making $5,000 projects, or, $10,000 projects, or more than that. I don't know, so I think, yeah, it's like an emotional, for me, pricing is more emotional than actually like, than the numbers or the, the value or whatever. Like it was a whole journey. Oh, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, and as I have learned to price higher and charge what I feel like I'm worth, I work less. I only have to do 1 or 2 projects a month, to sustain a really comfortable income. And I'm not scrambling to, sell 500 stickers. I'm not like worried about if I'm going to be able to pay my business expenses, because, I know I just need to book one more project and I'm covered. I can say no to projects that are boring. And, I think that charging those premium rates frees up your brain for other stuff. So like you can, being able to go for walks in the afternoon, as part of your workday, like taking a nap if you want to, playing with your kids. I think that like health and wellness stuff is really important to a sustainable business.
I love it. It's so, so important. And, Chris, as Christine and Becca know as well, like that's a big part of the journey. It's a big thing we work with people on as well, is to balance these wellness pieces as well, right? Like when you take a break, when you rest, or when you work on your own wellness, you're actually also investing in your own business, right? Because you are your business. If you're burned out, you're overwhelmed, your business is burned out and overwhelmed. If you're doing well and you're looking after yourself, you're looking after your business as well. And that allows you to not just do the bigger projects and bring in great income, it allows you to do it sustainably long term. Right? Because, yeah, look, it is fantastic to have a big project or charge lots for a mural. That's awesome. But we need to make sure it's a long term sustainable thing as well. Right? If you're leaving your day job or wanting to build this business sustainably long term, is like we need sustainable, recurring, regular income as well. It is so, so important. You do obviously need to get good at the marketing and the business stuff as well. We've really focused on pricing today as part of today's workshop. We're not going to cover the marketing side so much, but really good to be aware of. That is a big thing that also gets in people's way, right? Absolutely. Yes, the pricing stuff, but also things like the marketing side, getting in front of the right people so you can charge those higher rates as well. So as you go through your notes for today, make sure you go through and see what is very actionable, right? What are things that you can test? What are things that you can action? What are those next steps that you can take? Having more clarity around pricing is fantastic. We love this, right? We've often seen that people need to dig a lot deeper beyond what we've shared today as part of this workshop. And they also need to figure out those other business elements like the sales, the marketing, and even work on that mindset stuff. So the truth is today's workshop has really just touched the tip of the iceberg. So what we're going to be doing is helping you even further. We are offering our free clarity coaching calls with Paul, Alyssa, and Nadine from the team, from the Flammable team. We're super excited to be able to do this after this workshop. It's not something we can do very often, but we are going to be doing that today. So if you want some more support, you want to digest what you've learned today, we do have these free coaching calls. I'm going to be dropping a link in the chat so you can just book it in, right? This is a free coaching call to digest what you learned today and also get a bit more direction around what's getting in your way, the challenges, and then talk about the dreams that you have as well. If you do want to get some more help moving things forward, maybe even exploring our coaching, of course, you can mention that to Alyssa, Paul, or Nadine as well, and they'll be able to mention and take you through what the next steps of that would be. What I'm going to do is drop that link in here soon. We do still have Q&A to come after this, so do stick around, and we're still going to be doing the $100 giveaway if we haven't forgotten about that. I've got a couple of caveats before I share the link to book in a free call, right? Our team are really busy. This is amazing. We can do this. We love being able to offer these free calls, but we've got some caveats, right? The caveats are, number one, we want you to be someone who is ready to take action, right? Ready to grow their business to the next step, maybe leave a day job if you have one, or double or triple your income. You're someone who wants to grow. You're not just like, oh yeah, I want to tweak this and change that and, love to chat to someone. It's like, no, like this is a call for people who are really serious about growing. They're like, I want 2026 to be my year. Really, really important. The second piece is that we want you to be open to sharing, right? So we want you to get a bit vulnerable, open up about where you're at, your dreams, your challenges, what's getting in your way, and also being open to hear from their ideas and observations from all of their vast experience in coaching people in these spaces as well. So we just want you to be coachable, having a bit of a growth mindset, right? Taking lots of notes along the way, really, really important. And then the other piece of this is that we want you to commit, right? If you're going to book a call today, we have a lot of people here with us today. We don't have that many spots. We've got a good number, but you're basically going to be taking up another spot. So if you then cancel on the day, decide, I can't be bothered, please don't book it in the first place. Please make sure you turn up, you're ready, you're on time, video on, you're able to take notes, you're really focused on the call. Their time is incredibly valuable. And then last thing I ask is that we will be sending you through some information before the call to fill in so that you can just get prepped, just taking a few minutes so that our team can get prepped for the call with you as well. Can everyone that is happy with that just put in the chat, yes, or agreed, or fair enough, or just something there. So we've got some agreement from everyone here. Here we go. We've flooded our chat with yeses and agreed, all the good things. Sounds good. I love all the exclamation points as well, which is great. Woot, let's go. Love it. Absolutely. Okay, good. As I said, limited spots in here. Do grab this now. I will pop the link in a couple of times just because it will disappear quite quickly with the amount happening in the chat. I recommend you just open this right now and book in the time. It's pretty quick to do that. You just need to find the time, name, and email. There is some times for tomorrow. We have times for next week and even a couple just before Christmas there as well. So go through. My recommendation is find a time as soon as possible while things are fresh and clear for you as well. So make sure you do that. I'll pop it in the link again because we've got even more things happening in the chat. And I will pop it in a few more times. We've got some Q&A that we want to drop into now. So what we're going to do is pass over to, I'm going to actually get Alyssa and Paul to answer a couple of questions. A quick thing I will mention around the booking and the calls, one call each, please. Please don't try and book multiple calls. It'll randomly assign you to Alyssa, Paul, or Nadine. So just one call, not one call for Alyssa, one Nadine, one Paul, just one total. Our team's time is very valuable as well. Okay, so Q&A, let's jump into that. So question, I'm going to pass this one to you, Paul. So we were sending a question saying, should I list my pricing for my murals on my website? Should I price on my website for murals? Curious to hear your thoughts around this to share with the group here.
Right, yeah, that's a good question. And a lot of people wonder that, right? It seems simple and straightforward that you would, but we typically don't recommend doing this. And the reason is because you have to communicate the value to the people you're going to be working with primarily first. And so it's better to start a conversation with them, build that relationship up and build that trust that we talked about. They need to know, like, and trust you, right, to work with you. So we want to have that first rather than just a cold number on a sheet or on a website. By understanding their needs more first, you can put together a custom proposal and price that really isn't cookie cutter. It's very custom to what they need. And so that can be really good. If you want to, or if you do list your prices, you're really just competing on price, and they're going to look around and shop around and be like, this one, like on Amazon, it's like, what's the cheapest one? Yeah. That's not what we want to be competing on. It doesn't work well. There's always somebody who'll do it cheaper or even free. And so you want to compete on value, like Logan said earlier in the workshop too. And it's actually interesting. We see psychologically, some people are willing to pay more for it once they understand your value. But if they saw the number up front, they probably wouldn't pay it. They probably say a harsh no, like, oh no, we can't do that. But if they understand what you're actually providing through that conversation and relationship, much better. The one thing I did want to note, though, is I saw it in the chat a bit too. Having a minimum price on your website can be good to avoid time wasters and stuff, just to keep you in that sphere of people who understand what we're talking about, at least in a baseline sense. So that's kind of what we recommend for that stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. Absolutely love it. This next question here, Alyssa, I'm going to direct this one to you. What are examples of what you've seen people charging for murals? I love this question because I think there's so much to it, and these are such valuable areas of offerings as well. So Alyssa, do you want to just give an idea of what we tend to see from people we work with?
Absolutely. Yeah, great question. Obviously this can vary significantly depending on, like we already discussed, the project size, so square footage and overall complexity of the mural. But we see a lot of people charging, a minimum of $2,000 all the way up to $10,000. But we've also had clients who charged well into five figures, $20,000, $30,000 for one mural project. And even had a client, this was earlier this year, who charged over $100,000 for a mural. This was real. She hired a team of other artists in order to help her with this six-figure mural. And there really are big opportunities in this space. So as far as pricing goes, I say this to our clients all the time, and Christine and Becca already touched on this too, but it's usually better to have fewer high-paying clients instead of hundreds of low-paying clients, such as charging $3 or $30, right? So, we've seen over and over again that ultimately these high-ticket, valuable offers allow you to build a long-term sustainable business and reach your goals faster.
I love it. Thank you so much. I think it's so good to be inspired and see these things, because sometimes it's hard to know. Like, a lot of people, I'm sure many of you here are like, you're looking at the people directly around you, right? People it might be people you're following on Instagram, but actually hear the real numbers is so important. There's so many opportunities, and murals are a growing space of opportunity as well, which we absolutely love that. I have just checked our link and I saw that we have filled up all of the times. So we're just trying to add some more times in as well. So if you do refresh the link, we've added some more times for just after Christmas there as well. So do refresh it if you didn't manage to grab one. As I said, this is for people that are really serious. Make sure you do show up on that. We will be in touch to send through some prep emails there. The team are also just trying to see if they can open up a couple more times for next week as well. So just bear with us while we do that. What we are going to do is I've got one more question and then we're going to do the $100 giveaway. Did anyone forget about the $100? I think no one forgot about the $100. So I love it. We are managing that chat there as well. So what we will do is I want to talk about what if someone says no, right? This is a question we were sending. Like, you are so excited about this project, this opportunity, you send in the proposal and they say, no, we don't want to work with you. It's pretty gutting when it happens. Right now, the first thing is it's actually okay. You're going to get some no's and you should get some no's. If everyone's saying yes, then it means you need to increase your prices, right? We want to see what we call some friction. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's annoying, but we want to see some people saying no. As a rule of thumb, about 20% of people that you send a proposal to should say no based on price, right? Other people might say no for other reasons, but I'm talking about purely based on price. So a couple of things on this. One of them is that they might come back and say to you, oh, it's too expensive. Can you lower the rate? You're allowed to just say, no, that's what the price is. And you could communicate a bit more value and say, hey, here's why I charge this and these things here. It's amazing how often people end up coming back and say, okay, cool, I'll work with you anyway. Right? Because some people just want to negotiate. Right. And if you ask and say, hey, can I get a cheaper price? And then if they ask you and then you lower, well, they're going to be like, great, that was worthwhile. Right. So you're actually allowed to say, no, that's what the price is. And, try not to be rude about it. Just be, hey, here's why I'm charging this amount here. And they may still come back and say, yes, absolutely, great. I've opened up some more budget. We can do it. It's amazing how often that happens. At the same time, everything's negotiable. You get to decide whether you want to change your rates. You are allowed to discount your rates if you want, but be very careful if you're going to do that and then be upset, annoyed, frustrated. Well, it's kind of on you. Right? You get to really decide what you charge and what you're willing to do. Everything's negotiable. Big thing here is that you might be able to say no, and they might say, cool, and they might come back and work with you later. Right? So it might just be a timing thing. Or you might be able to negotiate based on other things outside of price. Right? So you might be like, okay, cool. Well, maybe can we do a smaller mural? Right? Or a less detailed mural, or what can we do to really make this easier so that you're still having your time valued, right? Negotiation can be a pretty normal part of it. Just because someone comes back and says no to a price doesn't mean they've said no to working with you. There just might need to be some back and forth because these things can be quite complex as well. Once again, understanding what do they care about? What do they actually need? So important. Absolutely love it. Awesome. We are going to announce our $100 giveaway. So Amrita, I'm going to put your name in the chat here as well. So sorry if I've pronounced your name wrong. You were the most interactive person. Honestly, there were so many people here that were really interactive and you were the person we chose. I popped your name in the chat there. Amrita, $100. Send us a direct message on Instagram, on our Flammable Instagram there, so that we can send that across to you. And we just send you a $100 voucher to pretty much anything, which is fantastic, through a service that we have. So we'll send that through. Thank you everyone for joining in today. This has been awesome. I am just going to double check and see if we've got a few more spots. If you didn't manage to snap up a spot and you really want to get on this call, please just check again over the next hour, because we'll see if we can open up some more times as well as we go through this. What I want to do now is get every single person here. I want you to pop in the chat a takeaway from today. What have you learned? What's been interesting? What's been helpful? What's been fascinating? Maybe even what's been surprising, right? Would love everyone here to pop that in the chat. Please do also make sure you're connected with us on Instagram. I know we have connected with many of you already. Myself, Celeste from my team, have been having some great conversations with people via our Flammable Instagram. So please make sure we connect up there. Feel free to get in touch and follow us there. We love being able to have DM conversations. I love what everyone's sharing in the chat. This is so good. Pricing, there's so much in here. I'm just going to try and read through a few of them. Express your value to the client. Yeah, that's huge, right? Value, value, value. Oh, awesome. I love this one. In capitals as well. Investing in yourself is investing in your business. I love that that was heard, right? Yeah, that's a good one, right? And Christine and Becca know from their journey that this is so important. This gave you confidence in pricing. Adi, I love that. Don't underestimate your worth, Tien. Nice. All of you wonderful peers around. Yeah, so good. Part of this here is look who's here today. All these amazing creative people, right? Absolutely incredible. I was surprised at the range of pricing for square footage. I've been lowballing myself. Yeah, it's good to hear what other people are doing in terms of pricing as well. It's something we do a lot with our clients. It's get them talking to each other more about numbers and pricing and also what's getting in the way and the overwhelm, those pieces too. Minimums on the website. Yeah, Sam, that's a really good one. Good tip there from Paul as well. Getting the nerve to ask for the budget. Yeah, absolutely. They may not give you the answer, but it's a really powerful thing that you can absolutely do. Considering other pieces, money is trade. Thank you so much. Value and pricing. There's so many great things. Have a good read through the chat because there's so many great things on here as well. I will pop out Instagram in the chat because I want to make sure we're connected here as well. Christine, Becca, pop yours in the chat as well so that we can get connected with people here as well. This has been awesome today. Becca, Christine, thank you so much. Like me being able to share this stuff is great. Like tips, strategies, what we see with our clients, but you being able to actually reflect back and show people like you're deep in this stuff. This is not all just theoretical ideas. You could do this. It's like, hey, like, you know, Christine, you're getting those first murals, you're getting into this, you're having some great successes. Becca, you've been doing this for many years, and really being able to see these things in action and see that this sort of stuff is real. Right? It's all very well to read or hear, oh, you know, you need to have some no's. 20% of people should say no, but actually understand that these are real things that people are experiencing as well. Absolutely love that. Those of you that have booked calls in with Paul, Alyssa, or Nadine, please keep an eye out for an email over the next couple of days. Celeste from my team will be in touch. We'll get you to do some pre-call info. We just want you to fill in a couple of things so that we can prepare. Make sure the time is on your calendar. You're prepared. You've got your notes, all of those good things as well. Those of you that didn't manage to book a call but really want one, please feel free to DM us. We'll see if we can fit you in a spot. Otherwise, we'll see if we can open up some more spots there as well. Awesome, team. We're going to wrap things up. Appreciate everyone here. Take care all. Have a good rest of your day. Ciao.